As for Donald Trump, well, he has been briefed on that Minnesota situation, but he has plenty on his agenda. He's threatened a 100% tariff on Canada.
Yeah, Renee, look, I mean, less than 24 hours after the president blasted the Supreme Court for its decision and then imposed new 10% global tariffs, now he's increased those tariffs to 15%, only further pushing forward his tariff policies and doubling down on his administration's.
What happens when America's closest allies quietly begin preparing for a future with less dependence on Washington? It is already happening right now, and the ripple effects could completely reshape global finance, trade, and major industries worldwide. For decades, the global economy ran like a finely tuned machine with the United States operating as the main power plant. But recently, major warning lights have started flashing as Canada, Europe, and other historically reliable allies begin diversifying their supply chains, investment strategies, and overall financial exposure. This is a quiet but massive shift in the global economic landscape, driven not by America's enemies, but by the very nations that have stood by its side for generations. To understand what is driving this tension, we have to look at the growing trend of de-risking. The term de-risking was once a phrase reserved almost entirely for discussions about China, but it is increasingly being used behind closed doors in discussions regarding the United States. To be clear, global allies are not abandoning America or ending decades of deep-rooted cooperation. The United States still remains central to global finance, cutting-edge technology, international defense, and trade. However, foreign governments are becoming visibly less comfortable relying on a single dominant system without a reliable backup plan. Europe's modern push for strategic autonomy perfectly reflects this shift. European governments are aggressively strengthening their domestic defense production, digital infrastructure, industrial capacity, and supply chains so they are not left stranded by sudden changes in American politics, unexpected trade tariffs, or shifting military priorities. In defense procurement, nations are widening their supplier options, valuing speed, flexibility, and domestic production security just as much as old-fashioned alliance loyalty. This same independent mindset is spreading rapidly into digital payments, energy networks, critical technology, and basic infrastructure. It is not an active breakup with America, but rather a strategic hedge, maintaining the U.S. partnership while making sure they have another set of keys to the house. This de-risking strategy is no longer just an abstract policy slogan spoken by politicians. In Canada, it is turning into an incredibly serious debate about where trillions of dollars should be directed next. Canada's massive pension system manages roughly $2.6 trillion, making it one of the absolute strongest institutional capital engines on the entire planet. For years, major funds such as the Canada Pension Plan, the CDPQ, and Ontario Teachers invested heavily and preferentially in U.S. markets because America offered unparalleled scale, immense liquidity, and reliable long-term returns. But concentration risk has become a primary concern, with roughly 45 to 50% of Canada Pension Plan assets still tied directly to the United States. Canadian asset managers are closely studying where future capital should flow to protect their citizens. More and more attention is being directed toward Europe, Asia, and domestic Canadian infrastructure, not as a panicked exit, but as a careful, long-term portfolio tuning. Furthermore, the federal government in Ottawa wants more of this immense capital directed into domestic Canadian priorities like clean energy, affordable housing, new technology, advanced transportation, and major industrial projects. Growing policy uncertainty in the United States, including potential foreign investment tax changes and protectionist trade rhetoric, adds immense pressure to this decision. This is a profound recalibration that could gradually redirect the flow of global capital. When pension giants of this scale begin adjusting their steering angle even slightly, the entire global financial convoy is forced to pay close attention. Beyond massive capital flows, this shift is also hitting something much older, heavier, and deeply symbolic: gold. Europe's internal gold debate is about far more than physical precious metals. It is a fundamental test of trust, sovereignty, and control. Germany and Italy combined hold more than 5,800 tons of gold, with a very significant portion of those reserves long stored inside the United States, specifically deep within the vaults of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That historical arrangement made perfect sense during the Cold War, when Western Europe viewed America as a secure, untouchable, and strategically ideal storage location against foreign threats. While there has been no sudden mass withdrawal of gold from the U.S. by these nations, the fact that the debate has been revived at the highest levels of European politics is highly significant. European political voices are openly asking whether more of these critical reserves should be repatriated and stored safely at home. This anxiety intensified significantly after the freezing of Russian central bank assets, which vividly demonstrated to the entire world how global finance and raw geopolitics can collide overnight. Because gold represents the ultimate confidence insurance and national credibility for any sovereign power. This ongoing debate acts as a rigorous trust inspection, forcing nations to ask who truly controls the keys to their ultimate financial safeguards. When you connect all of these developments, the de-risking of supply chains, the diversification of Canadian pensions, and the European gold debates, the bigger picture becomes crystal clear. The global financial system is not experiencing an overnight collapse, but it is being fundamentally retuned. For nearly a century, the international system has been anchored by three major pillars: deep and liquid, U.S. capital markets, the absolute dominance of the U.S. dollar, and institutional trust in American stability. Those pillars are certainly still standing, and the United States remains the largest and most influential financial engine in the world. However, its closest allies are no longer treating that engine as the only one worth maintaining or trusting blindly. Canada is actively rebalancing its immense investment exposure. Europe is reconsidering where its most critical physical assets should be stored, and Western governments across the board are building robust backup systems in defense, technology, payments, infrastructure, and energy independence. The most critical takeaway here is that this new pressure is not coming from America's traditional geopolitical rivals. It is coming directly from its closest friends. Countries are no longer optimizing their systems solely for raw speed, maximum profit, and global efficiency. Instead, they are actively optimizing for national resilience. They are upgrading their financial brakes, cooling systems, and spare parts supply chains to survive a more volatile world. This does not mean the end of the Western alliance, but it does mean extensive preparation for an unpredictable future. Massive global systems rarely change with a single dramatic turn of the wheel. Instead, they evolve through thousands of small adjustments, careful financial hedges, and quiet strategic decisions made behind closed doors over many years. Over time, those gradual decisions completely redirect the entire roadmap of global power. We are watching a global system learn how to build backup engines so it never has to rely on a single point of failure again. The United States will likely remain at the center of world trade for a long time to come, but the era of uncontested financial reliance is giving way to a more cautious, multi-anchor financial system. As trillions of dollars are gradually rebalanced, supply chains become increasingly regionalized, and debates over strategic sovereign assets continue, the global economy is quietly but permanently evolving into a multipolar reality. What do you think about this massive shift? Is Canada making a smart move by reducing its concentration risk in United States markets? Or are they risking lower returns? Should European countries accelerate bringing their gold reserves back home to guarantee absolute sovereignty? Is the world officially moving away from a Washington-dominated financial system towards something entirely new? Please share your thoughts and perspectives on these global shifts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown valuable and want to stay ahead of the major forces shaping global policy, international trade, and the road ahead, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth analysis, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.